Hi, Zibby. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, great. Thank you.
This backdrop you've got going totally dovetails with the how you present yourself in this book of like being very aware of the environment and, crafting great, beautiful spaces. And anyway,
Oh,
it's
thank
perfect.
you.
So love it.
And I do talk about the turquoise walls in my book. I'm from Miami, and so this is my writing space, all turquoise.
I love it. I've been feeling
Yeah.
so cooped up a little, not cooped up, but just in need of a change of scene. And I've been debating if I should go buy some random paint and just like start changing all the walls because, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. We did that a couple months ago. I was like, I need a change, and it's nice.
I said to my daughter, I was like, we could just buy some wallpaper if you want, because she really wants to change her room. I was like, we could buy some wallpaper and just put it on ourselves. And she was like,
Yeah.
why would we put wallpaper on ourselves? Thinking like, she thought I meant like on ourselves. Anyway, so that just speaks to how,
Maybe some quarantine fun.
yeah,
Quarantine fun. Wrap the kids in
quarantine fun.
wallpaper.
Anyway, well, tell people what the art of happy moving is about and why you ended up writing this book.
Sure, of
And
course.
I will
So,
showcase it.
yeah, and I also have I have a mirror here because I realize it's backwards when
Oh,
I
you're
show it.
so
So here
smart.
we go, the art of happy moving, and so it's a nonfiction. Sorry, is that better?
Yeah.
It's a nonfiction self-help book, and it's a guide to make moving a less stressful and a happier experience. My husband Dan and I, we moved 10 times in 11 years, and we moved from Massachusetts to Maryland, to Ohio, to California, to Illinois, to Tennessee, and back to Illinois with a few local moves in there as well. And so they say, write what you know. I know moving. We had moved a bunch. And there was actually just one experience when we moved from Chicago to Knoxville, Tennessee, it was a tough move for us. It was the first time we had moved with three kids, and we moved from a neighborhood where we had really great friends lived across the street. We were kind of at the peak of our social relationships, which happens a lot when you move to somewhere new. So we had spent all this time building social connections and then moved to a place where we didn't know anybody. And I was thinking about this, and it reminds me of quarantining, because when we got to the new space, we didn't know anyone. And I basically spent all of my time with my three children and my husband, who was working all the time. So it was really us at home. And the thing I longed for more than anything else was a friend to go out to coffee with. And I just feel like that's the same feelings I'm going again. I had posted something on Instagram yesterday saying, like, what's the first thing you want to do when you're out of the quarantine? And the number of people who responded, I just want to hug my friends. And it's so true. I'm like, I just want to get out and hug all my friends. But that was really inspiration behind writing this book, is for people who have moved somewhere that don't know anybody, and there are chapters about making friends in a new city, but then all the other stuff about moving too, the logistics of moving and how to be happy when you move to a new city, or even if you're just moving down the street, of how to create a happy space in your home, which, like you said, we're all doing right now, right? Like maybe we'll paint some walls, do something.
And it's also, you have it at the end, just like all these tools for living a happy life. I mean, regardless of where you've ended up moving, which I thought were super helpful also. I mean, you even have like a blueberry muffin recipe. This book has everything. What can you not find in this book? It's like, and
We will make those.
I told you when I interviewed you how much I love the quizzes, because I'm like a quiz junkie person. And they were so great too, about like what type of environment, and do you respond more to feel or to sound when you're trying to craft your perfect place. And they're useful, but also just so fun. So I don't know.
Thank you.
Especially when we can't really move anywhere necessarily, so yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
there are things there's a lot of stuff about moving. In the beginning of the book, it's really geared toward different logistical moving tips, also decluttering, a lot about decluttering, and then buying and selling a house and all of that in the first half of the book. But then the second half of the book is really for anyone that's just trying to create a happier space, looking for ways to maybe expand their social network and meet new friends, helping your kids go through that. So I know in our kids' schools, they transition schools a lot from elementary to middle school to junior high, high school. Like there are a lot of different transitions. And so just teaching your kids about that, of how to make new friends when you start new in a new situation. And one of the reviews I got on this, that it was a mini guide to enjoying life. And so I really like that it is more than just about moving, but different things that you can do to be happier. And I did study a lot of the happiness research and positive psychology to see what are the things that we can do to be happier every day.
And one of the ways you were trying to make yourself happier in this quarantine are with the worksheets that you did with your kids that we discussed on the podcast. And you were so nice to send them to me, because I was like, I'm going to do this with my kids. We're totally going to fill out these goals, worksheets, and we have not done that at all. But I love that. But how are the goals coming? How are they coming with your kids?
They're going well. I think it's helpful, as we talked about in the podcast, that just for me, having some sort of structure and having goals so that we know what all my different kids want to do. And so my daughter, my oldest, she loves writing and drawing. So she has these goals to write a ton of books during the quarantine. So she's been busy, like she's writing her books, and we make sure that she has time to do that. She's writing some books with friends. She's ordering them online. So she's going to have a collection of books at the end of this quarantine, which I think will be really fun. And fitness things too. I think being stuck inside, we're trying to make sure that the kids get some activity. So it's been good. We've been doing the best we can with being at home.
Someone in the comments was just saying we're not supposed to judge books by their cover, but she loves your cover. Actually, I can't even say she. I can't see who the name is. But tell me about how much input did you have with your cover? And like, do you just? I love it too. It's awesome.
Thank you. So this is Lee Suku, was the illustrator and the cover designer, and she does incredible work. And I had gone into several bookstores and taken pictures of a lot of covers that I liked. And so I don't even know what I like. Like I couldn't articulate it, but I would send the pictures and they realized like there's a certain font I like, which I never knew that I like this font. So they picked that, but then Lee Suku had created this design, and there was a cat on the cover before. It was a white and black cat. And so I said, if there's any possible way to include my mom's cat on the cover, my mom would really appreciate that. So I said, my parents have like 6 or 7 cats. So I just sent them pictures of all the cats. I'm like, anyone, if you could just pick one. And so my husband, he came home from work and I was telling him about it. He's like, you asked your publisher to put your mom's cat on the cover? I was like, is that weird? No. And so they did. So this is Bocelli is the cat on the cover. That's my mom's little kitten. And so that was pretty much all the input I had. Just saying, can you please put my mom's cat on the cover?
Well, it turned out great, and it's awesome. Well, this is, again, like such a great book. If you know anybody who's moving or has moved recently or just needs some tips for like how to deal with being at home, truly, this is another great pick. So thanks, Allie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you're looking for decluttering tips, there's lots of things about decluttering in here too. Yeah.
Sorry. Great decluttering tips in here too. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Zibby. I really appreciate it. It's great chatting with you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.